Good afternoon and welcome to Queanbeyan, to Seaford Oval, formerly the home of the Canberra Raiders in the old Winfield Cup days. These days it is the home of the Queanbeyan Blues, and they are the home team this afternoon for this Osbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup match of the day. And boy, what a game it is going to be. It is first versus second on the competition table, and first things first, let's talk about the weather. It is considerably warmer than it was last week at the O'Connor Enclosed Oval, although having said that, I don't know how it could have been much colder than last week at the O'Connor Enclosed Oval. Had it been any colder, I suspect it would have been as cold as a mother-in-law's kiss. But there we go. We have first versus second this afternoon, just up the road at the Queanbeyan Kangaroos Club. They have third versus fourth, so it is a great afternoon of rugby league here in the Canberra Raiders Cup. And alongside me, just for a quick chat prior to the game, and I think possibly even with some late team news, we have John Kreuter from the Canberra Raiders Cup. Good afternoon to you, John.
Hi, Chris, and yeah, I do have some big news. Even though Terry Campese did warm up, he's actually been a late withdrawal.
Wow.
Todd Jemison into number 6, so
that's a huge change. Definitely
changes the dynamic of this game. It'll be interesting to see how the Blues go without Campese for the second time this season. The first time, obviously, was that round 2 game where they got beaten 40-0 by the West Balcon Warriors, so it'll be interesting to see how they go this time around.
Given the impetus and the direction around the park that Terry Campese provides to this side, how big a loss is that going to be this afternoon?
Well, it's interesting because there's also no Cody Winnick either, and he's been fairly impressive, but that means their two halves aren't going to be there, so it'll be very interesting to see. I don't know what to expect, to be honest. Well,
we were commenting a little while ago when we were looking at the lineup. Scott Calspeak's actually named at halfback, and he's normally spotted hanging off the back of the scrum.
Exactly, normally locked forward. So, as I said, very interesting. A lot of responsibility on Zach Patch today. It was the hooker for the Marinero under 23 side, very good player, but that's a lot of responsibility on a 21-year-old.
And speaking about responsibility, there's a couple of other guys with a bit more responsibility than perhaps they're used to as well for the Queanbeyan Blues, with 2 players making their first grade debut, and actually another player making, we think, a first appearance in the Blues first grade for this season. Tristan Eldridge, the fullback. He's a lightning fast fullback. We've seen plenty of him in the juniors over the past couple of seasons. Played in the 16s and the 18s last year. What was it? How many tries last year in the under 16s?
25 tries.
A lazy 25 tries.
A lazy 25. 100 points, no goal kicking there, so does know how to cross the line. And then Zane Bijarak as well. Should line up in the centres, even though he's got the number 20 jersey on. Made the country under 18 side that will be touring Papua New Guinea later this year.
It'll be easy to pick him, yeah. So Eldridge in 1 and Bijarak in 20. And George Stewart making a comeback, and as far as I can recall, his first appearance in first grade for this season for the Queanbeyan Blues.
Yeah, I think that means his last game would have been that major semi-final against the Queanbeyan Kangaroos.
So,
got pumped, but he ran about 200 metres that day. Very good player, and good to see him back in first grade.
So those are the details about the Queanbeyan Blues. For the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, and they're making their way out onto the field. If you've picked up your record online, then you'll note that they are, as per program, 1 through 13. There's a couple of changes on the bench that we'll get to in just a minute. But this Tuggeranong Bushrangers side, they sit first on the table. Sure, it's by points difference, but second on the table are the Queanbeyan Blues. The Bushies, after 7 games, have a for and against advantage of 119 points. So they really do rack up points. And you look across that, 12 of their starting 13 have scored tries so far this year in 7 games.
Yeah, they know how to find the try line, and they're not relying on just one player as well. Mick Pick has been an absolutely class buy for them. Matt Gruber as well, coming back from a couple of years off with injury and work-related reasons. So good to see him going well this season as well. So very interesting to see. And they've got a fair share of youngsters as well.
And let's just say the other thing that adds to the intrigue this weekend is that for the Queanbeyan Blues, it's a huge day, it's a huge weekend. They had a 90th anniversary reunion do yesterday, and I suspect that looking around there, there's a few old faces around the place, and I suspect a few of those people have hung around for this game today.
Yeah, they will. They actually got a function after this as well, so it's still part of the 90th anniversary celebrations, so a big day for them, getting a team photo now. Blues there, and they'll be joining their opponents out in the middle now.
Well, John, you've got your duties to do. We'll try and catch up with you at half time, but always good to have a chat with you, mate. We'll catch up later.
No worries, thank you very much, Chris.
John Croyder from the Canberra Raiders Cup. He is always with us at the ground, not always on the coverage, but always at the ground, and one of the busiest guys in the local rugby league scene. So if you can see there the numbers on the back of those Queanbeyan Blues players, to say all over the place like a mad person's breakfast, you'd be absolutely spot on. There's no number 4, there's no number 11. There are a couple of bench numbers that are in the starting lineup because they've had to reshuffle things due to some jerseys being injured. But yeah, we have the Blues lining up. Eldridge 1, Barry 2, Stevens 3, Stewart 5, Todd Jamison now in 6, and Jamison has played just, I think, the one game in the top flight in the local competition this season. Calsbeek in 7, McGuinness in 8, Aaron McGuinness, who retired. Aaron McGuinness, so he's back for his second game for this 2018 season. Patch in 9, Woods in 10, Baker 12, Taholo 13, Taki in 14, Celerino 16, Stein 17, Cullen 18, Fainafo 19, and Bidgerak in 20. For the Bushies, it's Gruber in 1, Pollard 2, Brophy 3, Faya Ete in 4, Tukakau in 5, Murray in 6, Picker in 7, Neil 8, Mitchell 9, Nanisa in 10, Smith 11, Tupu in 12, Hickson 13, Oakley 14, Thomas 15, Nachuki 16, and Sheffield in 17. And the Bushrangers kick off, running to the left of your screen. And we are straight into it with this Queanbeyan Blues side that is considerably reshuffled from what we were expecting earlier on today, as they bring it out for the first time. I've seen Aaron Woods get involved early. Josh Baker was looking to get in there, but already the first penalty of the game. That's the real trend in rugby league for 2018, isn't it? Penalties, left, right, centre, backwards, forwards, the whole lot. Plenty of them. And as you can hear, we've got the referees mic'd up today. It does get a little bit scratchy from time to time. It wasn't a penalty, it was actually the ball being lost in there, so we see the ball being fed. So starting things off on the attack for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers is David Ete as he makes the run. And so that's the 20. And that looks like Ben Nanisa. Nanisa is Raiders SG ball player. One of the stars of that side too. Now they bring it across to the right. Good tackle there from Tyler Stevens. Great in defence, that man. He's done plenty. Still running it across to the left with Tupu now. Tupu takes it inside the 10 for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. They go across to the right, cutting out a couple. Blake Murray, long ball, finds his halfback in Picker. Picker, good step. 5 metres, make it 4 short of the line. Hands thrown in the air by Josh Mitchell, and the referee says yes, holding down in the tackle. So it's a penalty this time. Now, what do? They're going to take the 2. They're going to go for the 4. They're going to go for the 4. Good attacking option. Nanisa gets the first run at it, goes forward and forward. Takes 3 to, well, I was going to say bring him to ground to slow him down. Good afternoon to the constabulary with the disco lights just behind the goalpost. We come across to the right now with a good little run from dummy half from Mitchell. He's got 5 tries so far for the season, has Mitchell. Now they come across to the right, further across. It's Picker again. He gets it onto Smith. Nathan Smith. Brought to ground. That's on the 10. They'll come back across to the left now. Picker again. He's been in everything so far. Murray getting busy now. Low ball. Good pick up by far, Ete, but it's gone forward. So we'll come back here. Referee getting a call from the touch judge, I think. So we'll get another scrum coming down. This will be fed by the Queanbeyan Blues on about 15 metres out from their own line. So it has been wet in and around the nation's capital in Queanbeyan over the past 24 hours. The rain, even had a couple of showers about 90 minutes ago. So this ground is going to be very, very soft. And I'd imagine some of these players are going to feel a little bit leg weary by half time, because while it does drain well, you can see potentially some of that being chopped up there. Aidan Woods was in there, and now we've got the Tuggeranong Bushrangers up too fast. So free meterage for the Queanbeyan Blues. That's what they'll need. They're going to really be working on combinations for the early part of this game. If you have just joined us, no Terry Campese for the Queanbeyan Blues this afternoon. He warmed up but was ruled out just before kickoff. Like literally after we'd actually started our stream, the word came up to us that change had been made. That's Josh Baker on the run now for the Queanbeyan Blues. And you can see they're on the 30. Now Woods. Baker and Woods and McGuinness are going to do a welter of work today. Swapping it left and right. Carlsbeek in at halfback in the 7 jersey. Normally known as a forward, a lock forward. Slow to his feet. And he's gone back to ground after playing that ball. Barry, now it's gone on to Stein. Stein, a speed machine. We've seen plenty of him making fast moves in past seasons here in the Canberra Raiders Cup. Now that looks like tacky-tacky. Early tacky-tacky on the far side of the ground. Dangerous man, but only has one try against his name for this season. And there's a little scurry over from dummy half. And it's the first try of the day. It goes to the Queanbeyan Blues. Good start for them. 4-0 up, and we are not even 5 minutes into the game.
Happy with the start? Anything with this or not? All good, mate. Just a metre on this side, mate.
We saw a dangerous attacking side last week in the West Belconnen Warriors on our Bar TV match of the round.
On that side, the ball
if you haven't checked it out, check out the highlights package or the full game. Just go to about a minute before half time and check out the length of the field's try that the West Belconnen Warriors scored last week. It was quite spectacular, that try there from the Queanbeyan Blues coming off their first set in attacking territory, and I think probably just their third set, because they had one, and the Bushies had a couple, and then the Blues had one, got a penalty and brought it downfield. So I'd reckon it was just their third set, would be my guess, as we don't get official match day stats during the course of the game here. We have to tend to work from memory. Of course, with no Campese, the goal-kicking duties will most likely go to Josh Baker across the course of the day, but there's plenty of other players who've kicked goals during the course of this season for the Blues. Zach Patch has popped a couple over. I know there's one other one in there somewhere. I'm sure there is. Patch, Baker. I thought there was another one, but maybe not. But we have the first try of the day and a conversion, making it 6. Oh, the conversion attempt unsuccessful, so it remains 4-0. The scoreline here at Seaford Oval. As mentioned, first versus second on the table. We'll try and get you some scores from down the road at the Queanbeyan Kangaroos Club, where it's the Kangaroos versus West Belconnen as well in the 3rd versus 4 game. So we'll try and bring that to you as well during the course of the afternoon if we can. Isaiah Taholo, that is, for the Blues. Gee, they're making some metres, aren't they? They are just tearing up the middle of the park. Aidan Woods, now a run from dummy half from Patch. Patch puts it down into the far corner. That'll be to Kaukow. Apologies if I mispronounced it. Tui Kaukow, Tui Kaukow. And now the penalty goes forward, so not a penalty. Again, poor ball security from the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Last time they lost the ball, that was the scrum. The Blues managed to get a few metres down the field, then had a penalty, and then scored a try. The Blues will be looking to say, hey, top spot belongs to us, not you upstarts from the valley. And they'll be looking to make a statement here and go into the halfway point of the season with top spot. You've got a torn jersey, that's another one. There's been a few of those this year for the Queanbeyan Blues, as we see David Barry charge for the line, reach out, stretches his arms out, and I think he's put it over. He has. You hear the whistle. Try time for David Barry. 2 tries in about 4 minutes for the Queanbeyan Blues. They have started this game as though the whole world is watching them, and they are out to make a big statement. So Zach Patch with the first try, scurrying over from dummy half. David Barry with the second with the Go-Go Gadget arms. And it's 8 blot. And we'll have a change of jersey for one of the Queanbeyan players. I don't know how many more jerseys they've got. As I said, they're already missing the 4 and the 11 and the 15. So we'll see what number we can get eventually. See how Baker goes with this conversion. Missed the first one. This one's a little bit easier.
Here we go. That's an outside. No.
He's missed that one as well. 0 from 2. Score remains 8-0 to the Queanbeyan Blues over the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Tuggeranong have only lost one game so far this season. I saw that game earlier in the year. It was down at Greenway up against the West Belconnen side, and it was probably, in terms of spectacle, the least engaging game that I've seen. It was really, really a rough game, and West Belconnen, I don't think, completed a set in the first half, but still ran out winners. It really wasn't the most exciting of games over there at Greenway, but they've bounced back since then and haven't lost subsequently. Now this Blues side, well, they're going to need points early, you would imagine, as we see Patch on yet another run.
12, roll! Roll 12!
And across to the right they come this time. Runs behind his own man, does Woods.
Up now!
So they make it just into Bushy's territory. Now it's across to the left. That's Taholo again. Makes it up to the 40 now. They'll come across to the right. Kick will come from Cowsbeak. Not a bad kick from a makeshift halfback. Picked up by Gruber. And he takes the ball up outside the 20. And we have it offside. That would be, I think, Baker, who was potentially offside in front of the kicker. So the Bushrangers get a little bit of relief here. They'll be able to get out of their own territory. How many metres do they make? The kick was taken from just outside the 20. Touch judge says we'll take it to the 40. And the tap taken very quickly by David Ete.
Tap and go.
I love that. He's tackled, he's up in the air, the legs are still going. It was almost the cartoon character stuff. The legs are still going, but he wasn't going anywhere because he was actually off the ground. That's Adu Tupu. So that's only the second tackle, and they're already into the Blues half. Smith. Oh, he's got the ball away there. Well done. Mick Picker gets to it, and he loses the ball behind him, but that'll be a penalty for a strip. Hand on the ball. You hear the referee there. I'll just ask our operator if I'm allowed to turn our referee's sound effects up just a little bit. We're good with that? Okay. Let's try and bring that just a little bit more prominently into the ears.
Just before on the edge. Yep.
So the Bushrangers in a good position here. They couldn't convert the last time they were down the other end, but let's see what they can do with this time. They get it across the park to Brent Neal. Neal takes it to the 20 on the first.
Hand away.
They keep working the short side through Tupou again. Adu Tupou. Now he takes it up to the 10. But he's lost the ball. It's been picked up there. So Patch who's got it. Hard to tell, he was swallowed up very quickly, but it was Patch. So they're across to the left. Beat Taholo doing the two-step.
Ready? Good.
They continue across to the left.
Mick Picker.
This Blues side, they really are moving at great pace. That wasn't Taholo before, because that's him in the middle there. Celerino, so it was actually Fainafo, there we go, who was on the previous run. Now Patch comes in, quick ball from dummy half, that's been lost forward. Tuggeranong should pick it up, but the referee had already blown the whistle before the Bushies got a chance to get a hand on it and play on, so it'll be another scrum just short of halfway for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Not a great deal of ball handling going on at the moment. Good ball handling, I should say. Plenty of ball going to ground.
Focus on that line, all right? Hang on, Nick. Just need that Nick. Nick, go in, out! Just on your inside, Josh. Hey! Now! Good 7.
So the Bushrangers, they get up over halfway. That's Gruber, was it? Was. You get Mitchell in at dummy half again. Plenty of ground being made by both sides up the middle of the park, or through the middle part of the park, but Queanbeyan have been able to keep a roll on at the other end. Tuggeranong, they should have been stopped between the 10 and the 20. Picker. High ball to Blake Murray. Murray puts it onto the chest of Tupou. Tupou gets the ball away behind him. There was no call of held. Ete. So one of the last tackle. He's only a couple of metres out. He's got one on his outside. That's Pollard, but they'll go back the other way. And it's once again taken by the Queanbeyan Blues, and it's Isaiah Taholo who scurries out to the 10. Well, crawls possibly better than scurries. And he gets out there in a big pick-up and a slam to the ground of the tackle there. Tupou and Nanisa, the tacklers. As Woods comes out, brings the Blues outside the 20 on the third. Gee, they're just so quick through the forwards when they get the ball, this Blues side. There's another man who's very quick with Stein, and now there's Baker. Now he's taken that one a little bit high in the breadbasket, I reckon.
Contact high, Josh.
He's gone to ground. Referee says high. You heard him say it. Contact high.
Second one. Didn't need that. Wait for Tyler to be behind. And 13. Mo, get your Mo behind the line.
So the Blues will
In between.
once again start a set well in opposition territory. Just keeping an eye on back play. Baker in the hands of the trainers at the moment. He's okay. Stein takes the ball inside the 30 for the Blues.
Up now! Good Jamal!
Patch. Dummy half to Woods. Just look at the metres they make every time. Every time. It's just so cutting and so hard to defend against. Barry onto Calsbeek. They go on the outside. I think that was Eldridge who just got cleaned up by a Mack truck. Absolutely flattened it was, but he's back up. Plays the ball. Goes through hands to Stevens. Right on the touchline. Stays in the field of play. That's the fourth. Baker does a full 360. Finds Barry. Long ball. Eldridge looks to pass. Can't. Evades the tackle. Cullen, is it? Was Cullen with a little kick. They're chasing it through. And Livanai to Akakai. Oh, I thought he was going to go into touch, but he has gone into touch in the end. Has he gone to touch in goal or over the back in the field of play? Doesn't make much difference, really. He's been bustled out over the sideline.
Listen to me.
Listen to me.
Correct. No, yeah. Touch in goal.
Touch in goal. So line dropout coming for the Bushies. A couple of kids trying to fix up the corner post, which is in... Well, it's seen better days, that corner post. The kid's given up. He's beaten the proverbial out of it now. Line dropout. That's a pretty good dropout on a damp day. Stein takes it right on the 50. Makes it to the 40. Jarred a little by the first tackle and then pushed back. Gets a facial while he's on the ground, but he's okay. Now they're on the way forward, and we've got... That's the player who lost his jersey early. He's now on in the 11, so... I wonder whether that's a reserve grade 11 jersey they've pulled in. We'll find that out later. Taholo up to the 20. It's got so many options. See how many players they've got running at it. That'll be Stevens. Good tackle from Jamal Nachuki, one of the easiest guys to pick out on the field. Bright orange boots and a most distinctive hairstyle. Baker, still going Baker. Brought to ground, just to the right of the uprights. That's across to Calsbeek. And he puts the kick through, and it's been picked up by David Fay. He's off to the races. If he can get around, or he shouldn't have slowed down. He's tried to step back on the inside. He's going to make it maybe to halfway if he's lucky. Probably would have been better to pin the ears back. Might have made another 15 or 20, but there was no one in support with him. Pollard comes in a dummy half, does the winger. Rocks back in the tackle, does Pollard. And now he gets held down, and they'll have just a wee bit of time to get themselves organised and to make some metres.
Michael.
Well, this will be a good set for them. They'll start inside the start at 25.
Come up! Here, up here. 10 metres in! With your foot. Good. I don't know if he's played football before. Come on!
I don't know if he's played football before. Was that the comment? Ede. Gives it to Tupou. Tupou pops it out the back. Mick Picker wasn't looking. It's been picked up off the ground by Dan Hickson. He was paying attention. He's stolen an extra couple of metres, so could have been a disaster there for the Bushrangers, but they've recovered. That's with the Nisa. And he's inside the 10. Which way do they go? Oh, work it up the middle. Once again, Murray gives it to Ete. He's still going.
Short! 7 up! 13 square!
Murray calling for it. They don't go back that far. If he gets over the line here, that'll be held up, but he's just short. I think that's 4, the referee said, I think. They go long, they go wide. Maybe Smith. Smith tries to show some fancy footwork, but it comes to nothing. 5th and last. They go the short side this time through Brophy. Brophy dives for the line, and I think he may have scored. He's given the try. First points of the day for the Bushrangers. They get back 4 of the deficit with 20 minutes gone. Try to Michael Brophy, working the short side. And the Tuggeranong Bushrangers showing why. As we approach the midpoint of the season, they sit in first place on the table.
Hey, right. The number from the trainer on this side. Yep. When we get the ball from like a restart and stuff, make sure he's actually tapping the ball with his foot, because a lot of times it looks like he's just waiting for it. So number 4, do the head gift. He's over here getting
I didn't catch all of that conversation, but they're obviously not sure about David.
Right. That's a little thing that
Ete, and how he's taking the quick taps is, I think, what they were talking about. Interestingly enough, Ete is over this side of the ground. He's walking back now. He's only just crossed the 30 as he's was being seen to by the trainer, so just keep an eye on him.
Yep.
Conversion successful, and it is now 8 points to 6
I hate these numbers. What's your name, mate?
in favour of the Queanbeyan Blues.
Which way are we going, mate?
I hate using numbers. What's your name, mate?
Make sure he's in 10 first.
Jeez, I tell you, normally our audio from the referees is not this good.
Give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he really normally takes it.
We're getting some great conversation out there today. It does amuse me when we get that kind of stuff.
Good.
So the kickoff once again from the Blues. Actually, it'll be the first time they kicked off today. Can't remember. No, it was because it was the Bushies who started the. I'm pretty sure it was the Bushies who started the game with the kickoff. Anyway, find out later. Doesn't make much difference.
I gave him a tip.
They're trying to get it out from their own end of the ground.
Offload. Yeah. Good to see you back, bud.
It's Brophy, the try scorer, making plenty of metres.
Alan! Now, Naka! And he shortened it. 3.
And he shortened it. Would have been Nachuki. And Nachuki's managed to get himself a bit of a headache. And I'm not referring to his hairstyle. Just wait and see what we get here by way of conversation. Nothing much. Okay. All good. Get the halves back and away we go. Go wide through Uli Taki. And he's found Patch. Patch, he's got a man on the outside. They're still going. I'll come back across to the inside now with Barry. Keep the ball alive. Once again, back to Patch. And this time it's been put down, so that'll be a Bushrangers ball.
Tuggeranong. Stay here, be patient, stay up.
That's Stewart who wound up with the torn jersey. So he's now in the 11. That's him on the far wing. It was actually the player who knocked on. So what have the Bushies got? Can they get out from their own end? They did Tupou. Makes it up outside the 20. Oh, slipping, getting up, going again is Gruber.
13. Not square.
And you heard there the marker wasn't square. Isaiah Taholo, the culprit.
Thanks, Pick. Where have you got, mate? Thanks, guys.
Up there. Now we'll hear this. We'll listen to this.
Well, I want 3, okay? I don't want to see a third. I want 5. Yeah, as a marker. Okay, that's the issue at the moment. I'll give you an opportunity. Go do that now.
Hope you can hear that okay. He's telling the captain. So that's Tyler Stevens who's been called out as acting captain now.
Okay, Aaron, goal line, 13. Hold number 1, Blues. Go.
And that's Jamal Nachuki. He's just short of the line, but they're in a good spot here, right in front of the posts. A lot of defenders under the posts for the Queanbeyan Blues. Trying very hard to get through that wall. The kick comes early in the count there from Picker. Ball bounces around to the in-goal area. I think it's been grounded by...
Lost ball here. Stay there.
Lost ball here, so we'll come back under the post. Yeah, lost it over the dead ball line.
Okay.
So we're going to come back to more possession for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers.
Yes. Okay. Time to run.
Atatupo's now got, I think it's a bandage on the front of his head.
Just go on this side. Thank you, Zach. All good.
Line dropout. So, allowed to bounce. That's not always the best tactic. Eventually trapping it with his feet is Murray, and he then lets his fullback pick it up. Looks like Gruber.
7, 19. Go 13 Blues.
It was actually Sheffield. No, it's the first time we've seen Robert Sheffield out there this afternoon.
Thank you,
And that was David Ete, and he's still on the ground. He's got the headgear on, but he's copped a bump. I don't think it's the head. He's grabbed his left arm. Shoulder.
Unpick your headgear, mate. Your mouth shut out. Yeah, no, but it just helps him breathing. I do it from under 6s through the first grade.
Okay, lots of good communication from the referee to the players and the trainers out there. Like that.
Drink will be right.
Would have been a long way to throw the ball over to the touchy on the other side, the bottle rather, to the touchy on the other side of the ground.
Okay. Wait till everyone's
Okay,
on.
Ede's up. He's okay.
Right behind Frankie. Okay, we got all those trainers off. Boys, make sure we're here to restart. Tackle 2.
All right, so we'll get started again. We will have a little bit of time added on at the break. To Tupou.
Okay,
Involved in there.
Up now. Hold! Come on, 6 seconds. Good. 3.
And now Jamal Nachuki.
Away now! 16. Yeah. 4.
They continue across to the right. There's Mick Picker with a little scurry that's managed to get a few more metres. A couple of men on his outside. They could really got a raffled it to a few of them. Now they're spread out across to the left. Picker. Long ball. Another ball goes to far. Ete, he's going, puts the little kick through to his own advantage. It's into the in-goal area, and he's tackled Scott Calsbeek, who's gone back in, grounded the ball. So we'll come back for yet another line dropout and more possession for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Who's 7? Scott Carlsbeck. I've got the program in front of me. It is actually, the program's next to useless for us this afternoon. There's that many Queanbeyan Blues players who've changed jerseys during the course of the lead up here because of damaged jerseys, and as you saw earlier, George Stewart, the number 5, torn asunder, and he's now out there in the 11. So we've got a winger and in the 11. Might go through at half time just what else has changed, because there's quite a few of them in there. Impressed by this bloke, Robert Sheffield. I don't think I've seen him play before, and he's had a couple of touches coming in off the bench and made plenty of metres. Now it's Tupou. Tupou's still going and brought to ground 11 out. Referee calling the Blues back on side. Doesn't want to give away another penalty, doesn't want to blow the whistle. Nice to see a referee who doesn't want to blow the whistle. Jamal Nachuki. He's facing the wrong way, gets up, plays the ball in the right direction. Oh, absolutely sucked him in, did Josh Mitchell. Absolutely suckered him in. In the 1800s, he would have been on the streets of London as a con man with behaviour like that. He completely fooled the defence, goes in, scores a try, gives his side the lead. Don't need to say much more than that, really. Just picked the ball, dummied. I don't know whether it was 2 or 3 dummies, but everyone in the Blues defence went somewhere else, and the gap. I know it's cliche to say that the gap opened up, but, well, the gap opened up. And now we get a chance to convert his own try from directly in front of the post. Well, if you're doing the kicking, you want to make them as easy as you can for yourself. They don't get much easier than this. They really don't. Even if it was a thoroughly miserable day here at Seaford Oval, they don't get much easier than this. Don't know what the hold-up was for. There's the kick. And straight over the dot. 12 points to 8. And for the first time this afternoon, the Tuggeranong Bushrangers have a lead, and we've got about 9 minutes till the break.
With your guys now, they've got really good responses. Ebbs and flows, mate. Okay. No, you're right.
Ebbs and flows. I think we can say that this game has been ebbing and flowing.
Run you 3.
So, the Blues kick off again. They haven't had the ball for a while, the Blues, and the Bushrangers have made the most of it. Tupou, goose step, up to the 20. Across to the right they go. Bouncing out of the tackle is Sheffield, but the secondary tacklers get him, bring him to ground. Tyler Stevens doing a great job. They're up to the 30, but that's gone forward. You heard the call. Livanite Turkako had come in from the other side of the ground. He was ready to make a scorching run up the middle of the park, but forward pass, and it'll be a scrum to the Queanbeyan Blues. They trail by 4 with 7 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock till the break, having led by 8. As we could say, the first half has been played in 2 halves so far. It was the Blues who had the momentum for the first 20, and the Bushies have had it for the next lot. That would be Taki.
Okay, both Michaels! Up now, Bruce! Hold!
First tackle across to the right now. McInnes, he'll just straighten up and run, and does.
2.
Takes a couple to bring the big man to ground. One of them was Josh Mitchell. Carlsbeek gives it to Baker. Baker runs across the field, continues across the field.
3.
Takes a couple to bring him to ground. Finally get him down. They work in the middle of the park here, the Blues. Carlsbeek again. Doesn't pass this one. Gets to 15.
Up together!
Got 2 on the short side, but they go the other way. Back towards the posts. Barry. He finds Baker. Baker still going. And still going, Baker. And still going. He's just short of the line. Last tackle. Only inches short. What's the option? Ball goes to the ground. It's pushed back by Taholo. They're keeping it alive with the Blues. Come around now through Calspeak onto Eldridge. Then he finds Stevens. Stevens puts a kick through. Fullback Eldridge chasing. He's got himself in an offside position. He's come out and picked up his own pass. But I think because he's run around behind his own man.
Safe on the inside. 10 metres.
So we can see because he's run around behind his own man and retrieved the ball from in there, and a tackle was impeded.
This gentleman here.
It will be a Tuggeranong Bushrangers penalty.
You're looking at me like what?
Looking at me like what? Exactly. That's a good touch finder from about the 10. They find touch just short of halfway. 6 minutes till the break.
10 metres.
Enthralling first half of footy here. When the Blues scored twice early, I was wondering whether they were really set up for a runaway day, but the Bushrangers have showed plenty of spirit to come back. That was Ete. Now they go across. The headband is Hickson, I think.
16 together.
Was. They continue on with Mick Picker.
And cross to the right.
The pick and go, you could say.
Wait, buddy, wait.
That's the third, and they're on the 30. They continue across the right. Sheffield comes back a couple of steps to the left, but that's about all. Not quite to the 20. They'll need something special or a good kick. It's Murray. Gives it to Ete. If he could pass it to his outside, it would have been that something special because he had Pollard in a million acres of space on his own, but he didn't spot the man on his outside. So they come back towards the post. Picker puts the chip kick over. Charging after it is Nachuki. The ball will beat him to the dead ball line. And we'll come back out to the 20 for the restart for the Queanbeyan Blues. 4:45 left on the clock. A really enjoyable first half of rugby league here in the Icebreakers Canberra Raiders Cup, and our coverage on Bar TV brought to you by our good friends at Bloomers Lawyers. Great to have them on board, and thank you to our sponsors, not just of the telecast but of the Canberra Raiders Cup, the Icebreakers people. Great to have them as well, showing plenty of support for local rugby league. 7 tackle set, so that was the first after the 0. Now we've got the second. There's Tuggeranong. Quick hands. That looked forward to me. Look forward to the touch judge. Look forward to a lot of people in the crowd.
Where are we, Ben? Thanks, mate. Forward pass.
And there we go. It'll be a scrum to the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Now, as we get into the last 4 minutes here, it'll take about 30 seconds for this to be fed. So you'd reckon the Bushrangers probably the only team who could score here before half-time. I say probably because I was watching last week. And John Croyder's back he's back early for half-time duties, mate.
Yeah, I thought I'd try and beat the rush of players up the tunnel, the very narrow tunnel. So I thought I'd just try and come up a bit early. But it's been a very enjoyable first half of footy.
Really have enjoyed it. There's Brophy. You reckon the Bush has got more points in him before the break?
It's hard to tell. The Blues have been fairly solid. They've been weathering the storm all for the last 25 minutes or so, but I think if a try does happen, it'll come through the middle. They just seem a little bit slow in defence.
They have been. Let's see where they go. This is Hickson. He runs it straight up the middle. That's the 30 that he's been pulled down short of. Mitchell's had a day out so far this afternoon. As they turn the ball back on the inside to Jamal Nachuki. Now Mitchell with a run from dummy half goes across the field. Puts it across to Picker. Mick Picker steps. Probably steps more into trouble than out of it. So this is the last tackle. 2.5 remaining. Come across to the left. Murray. Ball that goes higher than the goalposts. Eldridge underneath it, flying in there. Was Fainafo, I think, the flying man. He's taken that, and he's perhaps knocked a little bit of the wind out of himself. Finally gets up. They don't make it too far on the next tackle. Slung to ground. Who was that making the tackle in there? That was Sheffield. He's been great in attack, and now he's been good in defence as well as Robert Sheffield coming in off the bench for the Bushrangers in 17. It was Tuggeranong on that run. Just short of the 30. They continue to work at the far side of the ground with Taholo. He puts a man on the outside. Tacky underneath the pile. No, it's Cullen actually in the bottom of the pile this time. Hard to tell when you can only see the top of his head underneath the tackled player. They go with the kick. It's taken by Gruber. Now he's on the 20. He can run an angle, make it out of the 40 if he's quick. Gets to the 30. Line was up too quick for him. Barry with the tackle. 90 seconds left. Pollard stepping and stepping, makes it to halfway. So that's the second. They've got 50 metres to go in 3 tackles. What can they do with it? To Kakao. It's an offload. Nathan Smith, perhaps. Gee, the Blues are struggling to get back here. Sheffield, if that pass had been into his breadbasket instead of him having to reach behind, would have been a very dangerous little play. He's inside the 20. It's the 4th. McInnes taking an age to get up. Mitchell wanted the penalty, didn't get it. They give it to Picker. Now back around to Nachuki. He's to the 10th. They finally get into the ground. What do they do on the last tackle? How long they got it? They got a minute, so they can get a repeat set. They'll get a couple of tackles off it. Let's see where they can go with it. Murray grubbers it through. Oh, it's been knocked on by Eldridge. Picked up off the ground by the Bushrangers. Well, that's better than a repeat set from the in-goal area, or are we going to see... He's called a knock on by Queanbeyan. We're going to come back out to the 10. How much time we got? 34. 30 seconds. It's going to take the tap. So the tap will be taken by Hickson. 20 seconds left. You're wasting time, Queanbeyan. Just get the ball and go. Tuggeranong, rather. Get the ball and go. Oh, so we're going to get the scrum down. We're not stopping the clock here. They're in. They're still in. This is not going to be a popular decision with the Tuggeranong fans when this halftime siren goes now. I guess I'm trying to work out why we didn't get time off there, John. I'm trying to work that out, and all I can say is perhaps because the Queanbeyan players didn't actually go to pack for the scrum, they thought they were going to be able to take a tap and go, which was never really the case. They sort of lost the opportunity to pack. Does that make sense?
I hear you saying, Mitchell, you can see he was quite frustrated at the whole thing. He thought there was definitely points there on offer, but who knows if they would have scored or not.
We don't know, but yeah.
But yeah, very interesting first half of rugby league, that's for sure.
Cracking first half. Really enjoyed that. As I said, in play, a first half played almost in 2 halves. The Blues started at 1,000,000 miles an hour, belying the fact that they'd lost Campese in the warm-up. They'd had the retired Aaron McInnes, who I don't think really is match fit out there in the number 8 jersey. He certainly looks to be carrying a few kilos. And a couple of debutants in there as well in Tristan Eldridge and Zane Bidjarak. And who else? Well, they've got George Stewart playing his first game in forever as well. So it's not the ideal setup for a side coming into a 1 versus 2 game, but they started at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it was Patch with a little run from dummy half who scored the first try after 4 minutes, and Barry with the go-go gadget arms reaching out and scoring, and after 8 minutes it was 8-0. 2 unsuccessful conversions, would have been 12 blot, but they were 8-0 up. And for the next few minutes the Blues really did have the better of it, but then the Bushrangers turned it on. Somewhere they flicked the switch around the 15-20 minute mark. First try for them came from Brophy. It was a little dummy half run where they worked the short side on the far side. It was interesting because on this near side of the ground, John, they'd been working, they'd avoided the short side on a few occasions, and I wonder whether Queanbeyan just thought, oh well, they're not bothering at the short side, and suddenly they did it on the other side and got a try out of it. And then Mitchell with a dummy half, just out and out con man work with one dummy, another dummy, and then scoring there. He absolutely fooled 3 defenders. So that's my summary of the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the tail of the first half was just the 2 number 9s. Zach Patch taking control in Campese's absence, working the ball both sides of the ruck, kicking as well, taking on more of that kicking duty as well. And then Josh Mitchell, he's been the go-to man for the Bushrangers the last couple of years. But it's handy that they've got Mick Picker there as well. It's just that second organiser and taking a little bit of pressure off him, and also catching the defence in second mind. One thing I've just been noticing out there is that the Blues have been pretty slow through that middle. As you said, Aaron McInnes doesn't look like he's as fit as he was last year. And then we've also got Celerino looks really slow out there. I'm not sure if he's got some sort of injury or something, but he just looks to be just being caught out a few times there.
Indeed. But yeah, look, McInnes, we did mention it earlier. He retired last year, said enough's enough, but the Blues have had a couple of injuries, so he's decided to make the comeback, and his comeback has been a couple of games now, and I don't know whether he'll stay on the comeback trail through the remainder of 2018, or whether he's just here to help out for a few games. So, but you can forgive him not being to the level of fitness we've seen from him in the past. Absolutely,
and he hasn't really, but he's been all right as well. As I said, I was just a little bit disappointed with Celerino, just because he's been in the team all year. But McInnes has been fine, making a few hard runs as well. Also, just been noticing out on the right edge as well, just with Campese's absence, Tyler Stevens and Frankie Finifo taking a lot of that leadership responsibility, really trying to organise the troops. And I'm just wondering if that sometimes could be a little bit more difficult doing that from an edge than in the middle as well. Maybe that's why that middle's not as organised, but I might be clutching at straws there.
No, indeed. But a fascinating first half of football here, and you'd be a very brave person to try and pick which side's going to come out on top after 80 minutes, which is what you want when it's first versus second.
Yeah, exactly. I've been looking forward to this game all week, so it's good that it's living up to expectations.
While we've got you here, John, let's just talk about the season so far. I mean, after today, everyone's played everyone. Everyone's had the bye, so we really do get a clear picture of where things are sitting in terms of the Ospreys Canberra Raiders Cup for season 2018. We're going to have either the Bushies or the Blues on 16 competition points. The other one will be on 14. The Warriors will be hoping that they can knock it together and pick up a win this afternoon over down the road against the Queanbeyan Kangaroos. But we could wind up with 16, 14, 14 and 12 in terms of competition points. And how good would that be? It would mean potentially a little bit of a break between 4 and 5, but it does show that we've got 4 really strong premiership contenders, and let's not write off Yass just yet.
No, definitely don't write off Yass. They're only 2 points behind the third place. Oh, sorry, they're equal on points with the Kangaroos at the moment. We've got Yass playing Goulburn, which is... We're seeing Goulburn, they have lost their last 5 matches, so there's
but Goulburn are always a funny proposition when they play Yass. Always a funny proposition.
They're a funny proposition regardless. They've got a quality side, but if Yass do manage to get a win there, that could see them jump the Roos and go into 4th. So I think that top 5... I think we're going to find our top 4 sides are going to come from that 5 currently. Mm-hmm. Woden's still in the hunt as well, so we can't write them off, saying they did beat the Roos earlier in the year, but I do think our top 4 is going to come from those 5 sides.
That Woden side, let's just talk about them for a second. Gee, there's so much talent there, there's so much ability. They seem to be missing... There's missing a dynamic playmaker. Is that a fair comment? They're missing someone who can just pick up and take a game by the scruff of the neck for 5 minutes and make a huge impact. They just don't seem to have someone who can do that.
Well, the good thing is that Lincoln Withers has come back from injury for them. So he played round 1 against the Bushrangers, picked up an injury in that, hadn't played until last weekend. So he's come back and they won quite comfortably with him in the side. So I think that makes a big difference to them.
Yeah.
And then you've also got they had starting the season. I was looking at their side and they got 2 hookers who are absolute quality in Costa Pasantis and Adam Lucas, and they're both injured as well. So I think if those, I don't know how far away those guys are, but if they can just get back on the park, that makes a big difference to that Woden side, because their second row is probably one of the best in the competition with Michael Gilmore. They've got Martin, and then they've also got Ron Leapai coming off the bench, who's a country under 23s player. So their second row is packed. They've got a fairly solid back line as well.
Indeed they have. I'm getting text messages from people who are behind me up there. So, mate, it's always good to have a chat with you. I won't ask you to pick a winner for the course of for this one. We'll just let it unfold over the next 40 or so. But John, always good to have a chat. We'll catch up later.
Thanks very much, Chris.
John Kreuter from the Canberra Raiders Cup, and repeating at half time, it's the visitors, the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, with the lead, 12 points to 8. But this game a very, very close one. 40 minutes more great footy still to come. Thanks to Bloomer's Lawyers on the Ospreys Canberra Raiders Cup match of the round on Bar TV. We'll be back with more shortly. The sun getting low in the sky here in the Queanbeyan area. We haven't quite reached the shortest day of the year. Still had a fortnight off from that. Plenty of shadows creeping across Seaford Oval. Wonder if the Tuggeranong Bushrangers will use that and kick to that far corner, far side on the right-hand side of your screen as this game unfolds.
A couple of degrees warmer, mate, we'd be loving it. Frankie, you'd be freezing, mate.
So the referees are a bit cold out there. As you can hear, they'll warm up soon enough as they get to do a bit more running. The Blues will restart proceedings. As you can see on the screen, 8-12 the score.
Okay, boys, let's go.
In favour of the visitors, the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, who hold first place on the ladder. But it's all on competition points at the moment. Interesting trapping method. And the Bushies are underway. First place on the line.
Milking.
And they're away the Bushrangers. Who is that? Zach Patch coming with a big tackle there. The number 9 for the Blues, and joined in there by Michael Cullen. But the Bushrangers, well, they're giving the Blues a bit of a taste of their own medicine, though, aren't they? Making plenty of metres.
Heads away! 8 to the line.
That was
Good 16.
trying to work out who that was down at the bottom of the pile. There's Picker. Let's not worry about that. He gives it on to Smith. Smith
Okay, Aaron, release now for
bounces
four.
off a man. That's the fourth tackle. They kick on the fourth, not onto the sunlit side of the ground. Picked up by Eldridge. Eldridge up outside the 10, makes it to the 15.
30. No working now. Set. 1.
That's the first tackle. Barry comes into dummy half.
Have a word to him.
Now George Stewart
Let's be here.
picked up and dumped. Hangs onto the pill. Still inside his own red zone. So the Bushrangers, well, they're giving it everything in defence early in this second half. That was Taholo. They're still inside their own 30. That's 4 tackles. This is great effort from Tuggeranong in defence. This Blues side, they eat up metres on the ground for breakfast. They just can't get anywhere. Baker, he can't make any metres. 31 out, 5th tackle. Let's get out of here and play it down the other end is the decision. Big kick, understandable. What have they got? Well, the answer is back up to the 40.
Okay, now wait here.
It was Gruber who managed that. Now it's with Livanai Tuakakau rather.
We'll play it, mate.
And they're already into Blues territory.
Pop it, mate. It's all good.
Big run from Hickson. He makes another 10.
I'll tell the sun was in my eyes.
Which way are they going? Coming to the right. Give it to Smith. Smith still going. He's still upright. Couldn't pass because there were players in his way. Dive forward and then little kick goes through from Mitchell. Dived on by the Blues and they come up with it through Barry. And they continue across to the left on the return with Taki Taki. And this time they do get outside the 30 and they do it on the first tackle. Patch in a dummy half. And with Gellerino.
3. Jamal, push up.
Let's see him get into some space. Gellerino, just see how much speed he's got. He just does seem to be a metre or two down on pace from we saw from him earlier in the year. Patch in a dummy half again. They come across to the left of the Blues, but there's a huge wall of defenders coming up. The Cheekies had a good game in attack and defence for the Bushrangers, and he was the primary tackler there. Yeah, this is Tuakakau again. Almost off to the races. Stewart grabbed him by the waistband and brought him to ground. That's no mean feat either to do that to a man who's going at full speed. Gruber on the second. Oh, Nachuki's injured in back play. You just may have seen him there behind Brophy as Brophy was on the run. He's with the trainer. Still talking to the trainer. He's up. It's a left arm or a left shoulder potentially. We'll see what happens if he gets involved in the play or not. That's Tupou. Tupou's managed to find someone on the outside. Is that Sheffield? Brought to ground just outside the 30. It's not Sheffield. Sheffield's on the inside. It's Pollard it was. And Pollard is not well. So suddenly, some big questions for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Pollard seeking attention at the back, and maybe we can just move the shot back a little bit to the left in a second, and you can see him in the orange boots. He's still holding his hand there, is Nachuki. So, Pollard's coming off. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all as he comes off with his right arm in a towel.
I'll get the tip on when he's off.
Okay.
When we restart.
Well, that'll be the end for Jaden Pollard, and that's a big bit of damage for this Tuggeranong Bushrangers side. He gets a round of applause.
He is on.
One Jaden replaces another with Jaden Thomas coming on, and Pollard going straight up the tunnel. He does not look well. Grimacing in pain as he comes up the walkway directly in front of our commentary position here. That's disappointing for him. Game goes on. Kick goes up. I think it was Murray who had the kick. Flying was Eldridge. He's taken the ball and he's absolutely smashed as soon as he touches the ground. Stewart just gets the offload away. They're trying to push the Blues back into the in-goal area.
He's out. Don't ruin it.
He's just outside.
Don't ruin it.
It's Tyler Stevens.
Don't ruin it.
That'll be 3 tackles and they're 3 metres out. This Bushrangers side, they're really showing some strong defence at the moment.
Very good.
Come back out of the shadows into the sunlight for just a moment with a little run from dummy half on the 4th.
Okay, together for 5. 1.
Patch was there, so who's going to go to the kicking duties?
Inside. Good.
They kick, and Gruber grabs it. Up over the 50. Makes 10, 11, 14 metres into opposition territory. Does Matt Gruber. A good start for this set for the Bushrangers.
Come on, Zach, watch you there, bud. Okay.
It's Jaden Thomas.
I can see on the pressure, mate. Good boy.
One of only 2 players in the 17 for the Bushrangers who's not scored a try for them in first grade in 2017.
Dave, wait. Hold!
So far, Ete on that run. Now it's Picker.
For 4, and 2 steps.
Mitchell goes across to Murray.
Hey!
Lost the ball for a second, but maintained control. Nachuki, he was injured a few minutes ago, but he's going like an express train towards the goal line.
Hold!
Last tackle. What have they got? Can they get a repeat set? Ball goes into the in-goal area. It's knocked dead by, for mine, George Stewart. It'll be a dropout as you hear from the referee. Come back under the posts.
Very good, Geordie.
Nachuki's still checking his left arm. Bushrangers have already lost Pollard, and I'm wondering whether Nachuki knows that he's got an injury that may need a bit of time out from the game, and it's, well, see how much longer he can last this afternoon. He's been one of their best in attack, and he's done a couple of good things in defence. They're strapping the left hand now.
All right, gentlemen.
Taking forever to get the ball to
No, he's up. Thanks, Zach.
under the post. There we go. We're right now. Okay.
Thanks, Josh, for alerting me, mate.
I tell you what, Tuggeranong have shown a real reluctance to try and catch the ball on the line dropouts and the restarts. We saw Tuakakau try and step on that ball.
Up now.
Smith wound up with it. They've got it at the middle of the ground and they're only about 20 out. Now on the run is Sheffield, and he takes it to the 10. They are in good position here, the Bushrangers. Across to the right they come. In the headband it's Hickson. And Hickson is 5 out there directly in front of the posts. Which way?
Stand up.
Set up to the left. Tupou. He's given it to Murray. Back yourself was a call from someone in the crowd. He was only a metre short. That's the 4th. Scurrying over and dumbing up. I think it was Josh Mitchell in there. I think it was. That's a try to Tuggeranong as you hear from the referee. Well, we've seen a couple of tries from dummy half this afternoon. In fact, we've seen 3. Oh, we've seen 2 from dummy half and another one set up with a short run, a short side play from dummy half. And Josh Mitchell, well, he's got 2 conversions and he's got 2 tries. And Just spotted a Queanbeyan Blues player being brought off with a trainer. I don't know who it was. All I could see was his arm as he was being escorted into the dugout in front of me, and obviously can't see through. So, wondering whether we've got both sides down. A couple of players potentially on the bench. Liam Oakley's about to come on for the Bushrangers. You won't miss him. I'll guarantee you of that, because he's got the most distinctive white headgear, has young Liam Oakley. He's just making his way out now, so you'll see plenty of him shortly. But first things first, Josh Mitchell looking for his 30th goal of the season. To go with his 7 tries thus far. What's he got? Absolutely no trouble. That's what he's got.
Would encourage this, Josh. Right, results go your way.
And that's 2 tries for Mitchell, jumping over from dummy half this afternoon.
Yeah, I only heard that late with...
And he converted it, which means that now they have a 10-point break. 18 points to 8 for the visitors.
Yeah.
And they are strengthening their grip on top spot of this competition ladder at the moment in the Osbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup. But as we've seen many times in many games of rugby league recently, a 10-point lead with half an hour to go means absolutely nothing. In the case of some games we've seen, 10-point lead with 5 minutes to go means absolutely nothing. The Blues, you'd think, would need to score next. Zach Patch restarts play. They go over to the far side of the ground, and I reckon over there in the bright sunshine, I reckon that might have been Tupou who fielded it. Another run from dummy half. Gee, he's been good from dummy half this afternoon, has Mitchell. And there's Oakley comes in to receive the play of the ball, but
on the ground.
There you go. You hear the referee saying keeping him down on the ground, so now a penalty for the Bushrangers.
Thank you, Blake.
So Blake Murray, long-range touch finder from just outside his own 40.
Okay.
That's just outside the other 20.
2 yards.
Okay, Oakley. Ete. He's been taking the taps now. It looks like that'll be Oakley's job. And Ete will turn more into a battering ram. They're inside the 20. Now they give it to Sheffield. I've really liked the look of him this afternoon. He's only 5 out. Nothing silly, says the ref. Understandably so. They give it to them. Chuki loses the ball.
Lost into. I think we had a knock on from City. First one, Tuggeranong.
So we've got knock on both ways.
Okay, we're at a line, guys. So I want you to meet up. We've got a big
I say right where they're standing right now, it's very difficult for me to actually pick what's going on, because they're half in, as you can see on the screen, half in blazing sunshine and half in shadows. It's very difficult to actually pick what's going on. So thank you to the referee for giving us an indication.
Hang on.
And we've got an HIA on this side of the ground now.
Okay, blood bin.
Oh, blood bin, not an HIA.
I
reckon that's Jake Stein coming off.
One of the two. Okay. He's right to or is he? Is it
Stein coming off, being replaced by Woods? It's not Stein. Who else has got yellow boots? Because Stein's bigger than him. Oh, it's Bidgerak. Same Bidgerak. It's his debut. I don't recall actually calling him in the 20 jersey for the Queanbeyan Blues. I don't recall he's actually had a touch. He's a centre. He's I think the only player from the Canberra region chosen in the New South Wales country under-18 side to go on a tour of Papua New Guinea later on this year. I think he's the only one. And he's not being HIA'd, but he is having his head done up a la Tutankhamun. Plenty of bandaging going on. Clock has stopped, by the way. 27:58 remaining.
Time on when the ball goes in. Come together, guys.
You've heard there. It'll be time on when the ball goes in. If you want to keep your own measure, 28 minutes basically from now. Oh, I heard that from here.
Now, Nate, stop around it. Now go. Good.
Wait and go. Big pick up and dump. This Tuggeranong side, they really are making the tackles hurt. That was Stewart who was put to ground on that occasion.
Release flag! Hold with me, Jamal. Josh, just be patient.
Jamison, at dummy half. They really need something just to give them a little bit of an injection of speed or change of direction or something. The Blues, they've really struggled early in this second half. I'm trying to recall if they've actually made a tackle in opposition territory yet, or run the ball into opposition territory. They've kicked it down there a few times. Barry does so again. That's a pretty ordinary kick. Worst kick of the day, in fact, we can say. He's kicked it out on the full, and once again, the Bushies will start with the ball in Queanbeyan territory. I don't think Tuggeranong have allowed the Queanbeyan Blues to run the ball across halfway this half.
Just inside, 40.
That's my recollection. I may be wrong, but
it's a changeover and he's kicked out on the full.
It is a changeover, yes. So no scrum.
6-yard marker.
So we get set.
Okay, with your foot, same as the teach under sixes. Yep.
Same as we teach the under sixes. Jamal Nachuki. He's the first player to get the run.
Thank you.
Well, he was having his left arm treated before, and he was carrying the ball in his left there, and he's really looking
in the line.
In a very, very bad way, Nachuki. I reckon he's cooked for this afternoon. So I think they're a man down. Bushies go through Picker, outside to Brophy.
I was happy with it.
He had Kakai on his outside, but couldn't get the ball to him. Yeah, Nachuki's coming off. He's being helped up by a trainer. Sheffield still going. And Sheffield still going. Makes it to 10 metres out. Neil comes back onto the ground. They give it to Liam Oakley. He's cut down a metre short of the line.
What's the decoy runners?
Kick comes through. There's a dive on it, and that's a try.
Onside. And onside.
That is a try. Not sure who's scored it. I'll have it for you in a minute, as he's managed to scurry through. Well, just waiting for him to come out of the pack. Try and pick him up in the binoculars. He's the first player out, so is it Brett Neal who's actually scored the try? He's only just come back onto the ground. I don't think it was Brophy. They're sort of walking up together.
Man, I'm 35, still going. How old are you this year?
Yeah, it was. There we go. Brett Neal with the try. And that would be his first try for the season for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Didn't play in 2017. Not sure why. And was only back on the field for a matter of moments. What happens with the conversion? You hear the whistle. You've seen the action. Mitchell's 3 from 3. And suddenly the scoreboard starting to look very lopsided for the home side. Bear in mind they're having a big reunion this weekend. There's plenty of past greats of this club, this Queanbeyan Blues club, lurking in the back of the grandstand here.
Behind Zach when he sits here.
But there's still 23 minutes left in this one, on this Blues side. We know they can score lots of points. But they actually need to have the ball to do that, and that's something that they really haven't had a lot of. That's a pick up and a dump in the tackle, but it's all okay. Taholo, one of the tacklers, in there. And the run that I think is Tupou.
Zach, hold him again. Line's good.
Come across to the right, try scorer.
See here. Now what goes?
They keep on coming.
Come you, please.
Mitchell in a dummy half with the kick. And once again, they put it a long way down the field. Taken by Eldridge. He scored a lot of tries in his under-16s competition last year, playing his first grade game for the Blues, and Oh, he's been welcome to first grade a couple of times. That's a good tackle from Liam Oakley. Went low and drove through Tyler Stevens and put him to ground. And that's 3 tackles and they're just outside the 30. It was Woods who was helping them. On the way through is Taholo. It's so glary here now as the sun takes full effect on the very far side of the ground. Kick from Jamison. Let it roll around a little bit to the Bushrangers. They've done plenty of that this afternoon. Now what's Gruber got? Well, he can get across the field. He puts an offload to Akakai. Akakai tries to push off the tackle from Woods, but he can't. Push off from Woods, it's Bidgerak rather. He can't find his feet to Akakai. They're at the end of your legs, son. Up you get. Now Brophy runs across to the side. They've lost metres. Haven't seen that for a while from the Bushrangers. This time they make it up to the 30.
Up together, 17, 1 yard.
That's far Ete. So he gets to 10 short of halfway. I wonder whether the Bushrangers will think about a 40-20 kick here.
With a foot. 4.
Well, here comes the kick. It will be an attempt at 40-20. The kick from Picker. It bounces. Oh, it's gone out of the field of play. So 40-20 was on offer. 40-20 was attempted. 40-20 was successful. Not as spectacular as the one from Jordan Rapiner in the NRL last night, but still a 40-20, and I'd be almost willing to put money on it that the Tuggeranong Bushrangers have kept the Queanbeyan Blues
Number 10 and 17
in their own half in offence for 19 minutes. I don't recall them running the ball past halfway yet. And it'll be a while before it happens because the Bushrangers have the ball.
Ready? Go.
Across to the right. And well, you can see where they are. They're right on the line. Mitchell's been incredibly dangerous in there. They've got him wrapped up quickly this time, actually pushing him back a couple of metres. Ball's come out. But they're calling it a strip.
In your hands,
Your hand was in there.
Picker. Come in line here.
Was the message.
What are we doing, Josh? We're going to take 2 here.
They're going to take 2.
So the furthest you can go is there. Okay?
They're going to take 2. I just wonder why. You're up by, 16. Does 18 make much difference to 16? I suppose it slows you down, slows things down. Less chance of injury.
Where are you going, George?
And Ben Nanisa coming back on for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Plenty of bushies there waiting. Maybe they're waiting for it to be kicked into the posts. Didn't happen. Mitchell with his 4th goal for the day. First penalty goal. And that takes it to 26 points to 8. And 19 minutes remaining. I say 24-8, make it 26-8. Let's go with that. Which would actually mean it's his 5th goal. 4 conversions and a penalty. Oh, I'm good with maths, I am. Right, let's get back into it. So Queanbeyan, I still suspect they have not run the ball into opposition territory since the break. Kick right over to the far corner of the field.
Go through when you can, mate.
How far can the Tuggeranong side get? They really have put on a display in their second half. They give it to Ete. He bounces off the first tackle, and he just makes more yards with men hanging off him. He's had a cracking game this afternoon. Now they're across to the right. That's Tupou. He's done a lot of work. They keep the ball alive. Now it's with Oakley. Oakley, a little skip, a little step. Tries to get past Cullen. Cullen gets some assistance, brings him to ground. Kick early, that's inside the 40. This one won't be a 40-20 because it'll bounce around. Won't make it to the touchline, but Eldridge picks it up. What's he got by way of speed in space? Well, he gets out to the 30, picked up and slammed onto his back. But that's the first. Now it's Stewart. So he gets to the 40. Can they do it? Can they encroach on the opposition half for the first time since the break? Bidgerak.
Nick Rosie! Release now!
Yeah, he's a couple of metres short of the halfway.
Markers are good.
Now Patch gives it off, finds Stein, and Stein crosses halfway. So there we go. That's the fourth. They come across, they keep going. Now on the run is Woods. And this is the last tackle. What option have they got? Well, they go high. It's a pretty ordinary looking kick in terms of distance. And it also meant that Gruber was able to hit it at speed and fly to take the grab. And he did so.
One.
At that, I just feel John Kreuter has just wanted to open the stand. That was the first time Queanbeyan, for mine, had actually run the ball into opposition territory this half. I reckon it took them 23 minutes to do it, John. What odds would you get on that before this game started? He's shaking his head at me. He doesn't believe me. Check the tape later, mate. Check the tape. I may be wrong. It might be the second, but I'm pretty sure it was the first. It's been played almost exclusively in the shadow end of the ground this half. 16 and a half remaining, and it's the Bushies on the charge once again. Another kick comes through. There's nobody home. Chasing it back. I think it's Taholo actually chasing it back over in the far corner. It was a little bit at 6s and 7s, this Blues side. They have been rattled by a very good Tuggeranong side. George Stewart showing his class, gets the offload. Good tackle there is Smith.
Very good.
Now Celerino running himself into trouble again. Celerino just doesn't seem to be able to find a gap to run into. Maybe that's what the problem is. Doesn't appear to be carrying an injury, just doesn't seem to be able to find any gaps. They keep working across to the right. Long ball goes to ground, went back, tapped back. So they've lost 10 metres, the Blues. Again, I reckon that's Taholo with it, 5th and last, and they're again inside their own half. And we've got about a similar point in the game down the road, and the Queanbeyan Kangaroos are giving the West Quilcona Warriors a bit of a lesson. It's a 22-point game there, 40-18 for the Roos. So that would mean we'll have a team on 14. If this scoreline holds, it'll be the Tuggeranong Bushrangers on 16. The Blues and the Warriors will be on 14, and the Kangaroos will be on 12 at the midway point of the season. So that's how things are looking as they stand. Oh, good play here from the Tuggeranong side. They've got it to Mick Picker. He shows his class. He gets the offload. He finds Nathan Smith. He goes to ground. I think momentum's got him there. Referee's looking to the left, looking to the right. He's got the okay. He says the ball's been down. It's a try. Nathan Smith gets his second for the season. And I think we can start to put this one in the box for the afternoon. That makes it 30 points to 8 with 14 left on the clock, and someone's down in back play.
I signed off on him.
So time is off, or time should be off. I'm sure he's signalled time off, but at the moment we're still ticking.
No way. Your interpretation, not mine.
It's Liam Oakley who was down.
Oh, yeah.
Just flat out speed, getting the Bushrangers in for that try. 30 points to 8 they lead by now. I tell you what though, the injuries for the Bushies are starting to stack up. I think that's Sheffield now. No, Sheffield's coming back on. There's a couple of players around on the near side of the ground talking to trainers, and it's Sheffield's going back on. Hickson's going back on. And I'm not sure who it is who's coming off. He's got his face covered by his hand. Another conversion. So 32 points to 8. Josh Mitchell puts that one to bed.
Oh, no, I think they're...
And I just wonder, was that Daniel Hickson who's just come off? No, Hickson's out there. I'm trying to pick who it was who came off. All I could see was his dark hair and he had a hand on his face. Didn't look terribly happy.
Gentlemen!
Could be a very interesting next couple of weeks for Tuggeranong. They've got a few injuries, but they will be on top of the table, you'd imagine, at the end of this one. 12 minutes remaining, 24 points the difference. Would be an amazing comeback from the Blues if they can engineer it, but the first thing they've got to do is get the ball. They've had hardly any of it since half-time. It's been a very, very polished performance from Tuggeranong, and now we get another penalty. No words of advice from the ref, just for holding down. And Blake Murray's had a good game at 5'8". It's hard to find a Tuggeranong Bushies player who hasn't had a good game this afternoon, actually. Many of them have performed really well. Tupou has done a lot of work.
Okay, up together!
And invariably early in the tackle count, a lot of their platforms have been able to be built off the metres that have been made by that man.
Good! Play with your foot! A step behind
Groover, he takes it up over halfway to the 40. Good little run from Josh Mitchell.
Flurry! Release 16 and score!
And he makes it to the 30. Now they come across to the right. Ete.
Number 10! Move!
And that's Neil in there.
Here! 4!
That's with Oakley. Got options all over the place. Sheffield has it. Did well to hang on to it.
5! Go on!
Fifth tackle.
Go
Brophy
on!
comes into play at dummy half. Comes across to Murray. High ball over on the far side. Goes to ground off. I think it may have come off a Queanbeyan Blues hand.
Drop out.
It has. We'll come back under the
Off
posts
number 1, Blues.
for yet more possession for this Tuggeranong Bushrangers side.
Number 1.
Nice, John Croyder is sitting behind. Does anyone keep stats on this on tackles here? On how many? We don't get an official. We don't. Just the clubs do their own.
Yeah,
we don't get anything official, which is a real shame because I reckon the Blues have had very little possession. Oh, we're coming back to the 20, so it's not going to be the line dropout. So we've got to have a change of mind there.
Thanks, Ben.
They might get it across halfway, but gee, we've seen hardly anything to the left of screen this afternoon in the second stanza. We've only got 10 minutes remaining.
0!
So that was a 0 tackle. That must have come off a Queanbeyan Blues hand there. Ball comes back. Who's going to pick it up? Oh, they've lost it. It's gone to ground, and I think a knock on the ground from Woods. Barry was probably better positioned to get to it, but Woods act in haste, repent at leisure. And again, the ball stays in the shadows of the grandstand here at Seaford Oval. 9:55 remaining. Next week's action on Bar TV heads up the Federal Highway. Goulburn and Gungahlin. Goulburn and Belconnen. There we go. Didn't have the fixture in front of me, but the man who knows all about our schedule is right behind me. And 52-22 final score. Oh, there we go. That one's finished early. 52-22. Queanbeyan Kangaroos have had a win, so they will stay in fourth, but only one game behind. Well, it'll be one game behind second. And we're going to be set up for some really intriguing footy in the second half of this season here in the Osbreakers Canberra Raiders Cup for 2018. Ete. He's been about the busiest man on the paddock today. And he has had a very, very good day. And they go across to the left. Is that Nachuki back out there? Well, he looked like he was... If he was a horse, they would have put him down, but he's got back out there. Brophy with it. Shapes to pass. Slips out of the tackle on tackle 4. Mitchell to his left. Murray back on the inside. Oh, Oakley smashed. They're on the 10. Kick comes through. Only going to be able to be picked up by Blues players, and it's George Stewart who's been one of their best this afternoon. He gets back into the field of play. Trying to pick highlights for the Queanbeyan Blues, and there haven't been too many of them after the first 10 minutes of this game. It really has been a dominant performance from the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. They're pushing their for and against up to the 150 mark. The Blues this time, they get a penalty, and it's a good kick for them. The touch finder gets them up outside the 30. In fact, up outside the 40. There's no hurry to take it, the Blues. They're walking very, very slowly, and they take the tap 5 metres short. The referee says, no, you've robbed yourself of 5 metres, and they still come back and play it a couple of metres short. And Taholo takes it over halfway. And they do something for the greats who are watching this game this afternoon. Barry had a good little ball in there. He's waiting for the next one. Doesn't come to him. Got Bidgerak waiting for the ball there, but in the end, Patch just runs it himself. He gets to the 30. Now they go across to the right. Celerino. Well, he's actually managed to find half a gap there. He's done well. He's offloaded to Barry. That was a good play from Celerino. Barry still going. No one wanting to tackle him. There are only a couple out. They got a couple of tackles here. Can they charge and score over the try line? Well, absolutely butchered it. You can put that up there with the lamb chops, the rump steak and the sausages. That's complete butchery. Shaping up as one of the best looking tries we've seen all season in there. With a great dive, but the ball coming free. And instead of being 4 points for the home side, it's lost forward, scrum feed for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, who I don't think they're done yet. I think they really want to make a big statement. And they're 24 up, but I reckon they'd love to win by 30. And they'd love to keep the Blues scoreless in the second half. They've kept the Blues scoreless for nearly 70 minutes. What have we got there? John's was in my ear. Yes, 50, Goulburn 24. So yes, they'll be on 12 points as well. So we'll have the Roos and the Magpies on 12. The Warriors and the Blues on 14, and the Bushrangers on 16. It'll be a very, very interesting next 9 weeks as we shape up for the grand final. If you're making your plans, we're talking Sunday the 2nd of September, wasn't it, for the grand final? We think so. It'll be the Sunday nearest the 2nd of September. That will be a great day. And definitely 5 teams in the hunt. Celerino's coming off for Queanbeyan. Just do a quick count. They look to be light on out there, but still 13, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. No, I reckon there's only 12 out there for the Blues. I'm not entirely sure. I'll double check that. Can you? Huh? Oh, Stevens is in the bin. When did that happen? Oh, okay. While I was being told the score for the other game, Stevens got put in the bin, so you probably saw that at home and I didn't. My apologies. That's why they look light on out there, isn't it, John?
Short side.
And Mitchell, he's got 2 tries this afternoon as Josh Mitchell.
Tackle 5.
And you reckon he wanted the hat-trick? Well, he couldn't get there. 5 and last. Murray puts the ball high underneath it. Oh, look at that. Levenai Tuakakau takes the ball on the crossfield bomb, dives over the line and gets his name in the scorebook for this afternoon. His 3rd try for the season, 36 points to 8, 4 left on the clock. Have a microphone, John, have a microphone. Come in and have a chat with us. You're sitting there and he's doing the live tweeting, if you're wondering. So we've got 76 minutes. It's one of the more spectacular things that we see attempted, but they don't come off terribly often, those crossfield bombs like that. But Blake Murray positioned it to perfection. He had Levenai Tuakakau waiting. He jumped, turned and planted the ball over the stripe for the try. And this is a pretty difficult conversion for Josh Mitchell, who is 5 from 5 this afternoon. 6 from 6, actually. He had five conversions and 1 penalty.
And a penalty as well, yeah. And with that kick from Blake Murray, it's just perfect because I was out there taking photos before and you cannot see anything if you're looking the way that... who was it out on the wing for the Blues? Can't remember, but you can't see a thing trying looking that way.
It's David Barry on this wing. That's a great kick. He's in an afternoon as Josh Mitchell, and I think he's going to be hard to go past as our Raiders group man of the match for this afternoon, John.
Yeah, well, I think so. He's just controlled the ruck beautifully, set up a couple of tries. Kicking has been outstanding.
2 tries, 7 goals.
How many tries do you think he's got as well? He's
I
definitely set up that Brent Neal one. I think it was Brent Neal's. He set up.
He set up the Brent Neal one, who ran onto the kick. He set up the Smith one, where Smith was charging through at speed, and was he the dummy half who went to the short side for Brophy as well? I think he might have been, and that would be 3 try assists, I reckon, in there as well. So
yeah, actually, I think it might have been Picker for that Smith one.
Could have been, but it's, yeah.
But yeah, you can't go past Mitchell for the man of the match, I think.
It's been a good afternoon. We've got less than 2 minutes remaining. There's a man of the match in our main game each week. Picks up a $50 voucher from the Raiders group of clubs, and great to have them on board as sponsors of our telecast for 2018 as well.
Yeah, definitely. The Raiders Club do a lot for local rugby league. Also, we've got the Raiders Collins sponsoring the referees as well. They do a great job within the game.
Ete, he's offloaded and he's managed to find... Is that Tuakako on the other side of the ground?
It is.
He scored... Well, he's got a double in a matter of 2 minutes, and he's got them on opposite corners. Never seen that before.
No. He's keeping me busy with my tweeting, though.
He is. We'll let you tweet. And the only other contender for man of the match this afternoon would be David Ete. He hasn't got himself on the scorebook, but he's done a lot of work. He's done a lot of running up. But when you've got a man who's been as prolific with possession this afternoon as Josh Mitchell, you can't go past him. But a great game there for Ete, and with it now being, what is it, third? So that was 38-8, and that makes it 42-8, with a kick still to come. Hasn't done Mitchell any favours. He's converted one from the right touch line. See what he can do from the left. I don't think I've ever seen a player, I'm trying to remember, I don't think I've ever seen a player score a try in one corner and then 2 minutes later score a try in the other. I don't think I've ever seen it. Remarkable effort and try assist for Ete. I had to double check when I was calling whether it was Tuakako. I just wasn't expecting him to be over there. Siren sounds. Conversion is unsuccessful. Really, in the end, a minor disappointment in what I think the Tuggeranong Bushrangers are going to say was a statement game this afternoon. At the midpoint of the competition, they really have stamped the Ospreys Canberra Raiders Cup with their own authority, and they have nailed their colours firmly to the mast. They've won this one 42 points to 8. That's a very big win for the men from the Valley, and there'll be plenty of partying in and around the clubs in Tuggeranong tonight. Well done to them. Great game, Josh Mitchell. Levinai Tuakako was impressive on the wing for them. He scored 2 tries. Michael Brophy, Brent Neal, Nathan Smith all getting over the stripe as well. But it was the Josh Mitchell show this afternoon. 2 tries, multiple try assists, 6 conversions from 7 attempts, plus a penalty. Big afternoon for him. For the Blues, well, it was a try to Zach Patch in the 4th minute, and a try to David Barry in the 8th minute, and then a whole lot of nothing. They led 8-0 and went down 42 points to 8. Yeah, 42 unanswered points from the visitors. I was impressed with Tyler Stevens in patches today. George Stewart I thought was one of the best for the Queanbeyan Blues. Todd Jamison didn't really get a chance to do a great deal. Scott Calsbeek was okay in the halves, but I think that he really, as a makeshift halfback, usually plays in the forwards as a lock, was missing Terry Campese. Aidan Woods was serviceable in the forwards, as was McInnes and Baker, but they just didn't seem to have enough resources to get the job done this afternoon. And it was the Bushrangers. They've had multiple producers this afternoon, and they pick up the 2 competition points and maintain their spot on top of the ladder. Well, they won by 34. So they have actually managed to get their for and against differential up now over the 150 mark. It'll be at 153, which after 9 games is no mean feat. Not a great deal else I can bring you from Seaford Oval here in Queanbeyan this afternoon, other than to say that means the Tuggeranong Bushrangers will be on top of the table. Now the Blues will be... Actually, the Blues will drop to 3rd. Hang on, let's work this out. They've lost by 34, and the Warriors, I think, lost by 30. Yeah, I reckon the Warriors will be their points differential. I don't have a slide rule. The Warriors, I think their points differential will be 1 better than the Queanbeyan Blues. Now their points differential will go. The Warriors will go down to 52, and the Blues will go down to 51. Yeah, so it'll be Bushies on 16, Warriors 14, Blues 14, Roos 12. Magpies 12. I don't have any details of what's been going on in the other game between the Sharks and Woden Valley Rams, but the Rams, well, they'll need a win to stay in touch at the top at the point of the table. But John Kreuter's with us here, and John just doing some quick maths, and the Warriors, even though they lost this afternoon, are going to move up a spot on the table because they lost by 30, and the Blues have lost by 34. So that'll be enough for the 3 points in their for and against to be turned around. So there you go.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't think we'd see any movement in the top 4 after the results that we've seen. But
not often you lose a game and go up.
No, not often you lose a game by 30 and go up.
True.
So, the Bushrangers definitely made a statement that they've come off. They entered this fortnight period having to play the Roos and the Blues, and that's always the biggest test for any team in the comp. And they've come out pretty well, you'd say. At the start of the season, you'd look at the fixture list and you'd say, okay, we've got them back to back. Yeah, and they had the same last year as well. If you remember, they had the Roos and then the Blues. It didn't go as well last year. And entering this season, I wasn't too sure how the Bushrangers would go. They had a lot of retirements, but they've added some real quality, and some of the other guys have really stepped up. This side they've got, I mean, Gruber's been great for him at fullback. He really has produced the goods, and great to see him back after a 2017. Did he play any footy in 2017? Reserve grade, I believe. He might have played 1 or 2 first grade, but mainly reserve grade. Okay, so it was pretty sporadic. I didn't see a lot of him. Michael Brophy, another one who had an injury interrupted 2017. Yep. So great to see him. Brent Neal back in the fold as well. Yep. Now, that has made those 3 have made a big difference for them. Josh Mitchell, just really just giving them lots of go forward and lots of direction up front as well. I liked Adu Tupou today. I thought Tupou did a lot of work to take the ball up and was a great platform for them, as was Far Ete this afternoon. Daniel Hickson, great use as a shock weapon. Gee, just runs hard, and he runs hard and straight, and it's hard to stop a guy who's going at his size and his speed. Yeah, absolutely, and really was impressed with Jamal Nchuki as well. He scored the hat-trick last week, but he just looked dangerous. And when he was getting tackled, Mitchell was able to do a lot of stuff just around the ruck, just off the back of his runs too. No, indeed. Well, we'll have the interview with our Raiders Group Man of the Match available shortly on Bar TV, so keep an eye out for that one. But just recapping the scorers this afternoon, it was Tuakakau with 2 tries, Josh Mitchell with 2 tries and 7 goals from 8 attempts. Michael Brophy, Brent Neal and Nathan Smith were the other try scorers for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, and for the Queanbeyan Blues, it was a try to David Barry and a try to Zach Patch, and that was all she wrote. 42 points to 8. The team at the top of the table maintained their spot on the top of the table. Indeed, you could say improved their grip on the top of the table as we round the bend and enter the home straight. Second half of the season coming up next weekend on Bar TV. We will be in Goulburn. It'll be Ryan bringing you the game in Goulburn next weekend. I am on other duties, but it'll be a cracking game. Goulburn and Belconnen and Bar TV and everyone involved in the Ospreakers Canberra Raiders Cup. Look forward to your company again next weekend. Thank you for joining us here from Seaford Oval today.